Today, we're talking about a car that had a huge impact back in its day, but is pretty much forgotten nowadays. That's right, it could be a lot of cars, but the one we're talking about today is the Saturn S-series. This is a car that tried to shake things up in the 90s, but where did it go? And why does everyone remember it so fondly? Let's check it out.
Insurance and financing. Comes out to about $8 a day to drive my Saturn. It's got me thinking, how hard can it be to save $8?
Alright, so here's the deal. Back in the 1980s, General Motors wanted to create a car that would go head-to-head with super popular brands such as Honda and Toyota. And so they came up with Saturn. And in 1990, the first Saturn S-series hit the streets. The S-series came in three styles: a sedan, a sporty coupe, and a wagon if you need a little bit more space. They were all about being practical, good on gas, and easy in the wallet. They seem like a dream car, right? But what really made Saturn different was how they treated their customers and the cool tech that they used. Now, let's talk about what was under the hood. Just like its Japanese counterparts, it had a 4-cylinder, a 1.9 liter 4-cylinder that was pretty solid, pretty reliable, pretty easy to work on, and pretty good on gas. All around, pretty decent. But the coolest part? The body panels were made out of plastic. Yep, plastic. This kind of plastic. The kind of plastic they use in like water bottles. This means they don't get dented or rusted as easily as any regular car, which is a pretty big deal if you live somewhere where rust is pretty common. Canada.
The Saturn Ion with dent-resistant side panels. Saturn. People first.
Plus, the car had a unique frame that made it strong, even with those lightweight plastic panels. It was pretty safe too. Beyond the car itself, the car created a whole vibe. People who bought these cars were really into the brand. In fact, Saturn threw homecoming events where thousands of owners would come and hang out. Kinda reminds me of Volvo people. Also, buying a Saturn was different. There was no haggling and no BS. Everyone paid the same price, and a lot of people enjoyed the simplicity of it. It made the entire process a lot less stressful. So if the S-series was so cool, why did it disappear? Well, the 2000s were super tough on Saturn. The competition got stronger, and GM made some pretty poor decisions that kinda killed the uniqueness of Saturn. Kinda made them less special, as GM usually does. Holden. By the time they started using the same designs as other GM cars, people weren't as into Saturns anymore. By 2002, they stopped making the S-series, and by 2010, the entire brand was gone. And even though it's been years, there's still a group of hardcore Saturn fans out there. They love the Saturn for how simple and reliable and just perfect it was. It really represented a time when car manufacturers weren't afraid to be different and weren't afraid to kind of stand out a little and diversify, if you will, kind of stray away from the regular path of automobiles. Whether it's the sound of that old engine, the plastic panels that still look good, or just memories of a different kind of car company, the Saturn S-series definitely left its mark. So, what do we think? Is the Saturn a good car? Do we like the Saturn? Or is it just another, plastic crappy car from the past? I personally think it was cool. I think it really diversified from the standard steel automobile, if you will, and it definitely made a big difference in the General Motors lineup.